What up, y'all? It's your boy Shake back with some more content around WWE 2K25. I've been thinking about the game quite a bit recently, and I think with the newest edition of Drew McIntyre 10, we've got the upcoming Saturday Night's Main Event DLC releasing in a couple of days, depending on when you're hearing this. And actually, 2K just showed off Penta from WrestleMania 41 as a Persona card, which we knew was coming if you follow guys like Woody Witterson. Anyway, what I've been thinking about is that considering how deep into the life cycle we are in this game, there's about 4 months left. And what could 2K do before 2K26 comes out in March to keep the game alive, but also get us excited about content drops that might not be traditional DLC? One of the things that I've really been considering is more Persona cards, right? I know that we've got more Toy Titans coming down the pipeline, and that'll probably give us a handful of characters. I know that Woody Witterson had posted that there's a Liv Morgan, and I believe a Jacob Fatu Toy Titans that should be coming in that pack. But I've been thinking the thing about these Persona cards that really extend the life of the game is how, depending on the character, you can use them in your universe mode. Universe mode is so robust, and I think the roster in the game in this year's game is so robust that you could legitimately build a great universe mode from a different generation. Like with this upcoming Saturday Night's Main Event pack, you could legitimately flesh out your 80s, rock and wrestling era universe with Hogan and Ventura and Tito Santana. And unfortunately for Switch players like myself, because there is no cross-platform community creations, we don't necessarily have the best creative superstars like you see on other platforms. And I'm not even mad at that, because again, the Switch has a feature which I think is really cool, which is game sharing. You could legitimately just kind of share the game with up to 7 people who don't own it, and the streaming technology is fantastic. But I share that to say that even with the base roster and the DLC that we've gotten, you can create a great universe mode for the 80s, the 90s, the new generation. You can do the early 2000s and the Attitude Era. You can do the Ruthless Aggression Era. And there's so many ways to think about it. But I keep coming back to what personas based on characters that are already in the game would really help flesh out that idea of a very specific universe mode. And I'm just going to give you my list of a couple of characters that I would love to see. So again, we get this Drew McIntyre 10, which is really unique, right? Because it's kind of like, this is when he was obviously the chosen one. This is when Vince was like, he is deemed to be the guy, although he didn't, and ended up being in 3MB. But a couple of characters, or at least the first character I want to talk about that I would love to see in, or recreated as a persona for WWE 2K25 is Bradshaw. And I know we have JBL, and that's that mid-2000s or early 2000s JBL when he kind of reinvented himself as the multimillionaire, kind of like a take on the $1 Million Man. But I think the fact that we have Farouk in the game, and he is legitimately in his APA or Acolytes attire, I think we need a version of Bradshaw with the long, dark hair. We need real black brunette Bradshaw with the mustache. We need APA and Acolyte Bradshaw. And I think that would be an easy thing, because considering that you can't change a superstar's hair, I would like to see that version of Bradshaw. And I think that would be a really great persona that could be really easy, maybe not too difficult to get. Maybe do a live event where you have to use Farouk to get him. Because even when you put Bradshaw in the Sabre attire as Farouk, it just feels off, because that's the late era version of the APA. I need the badass version of the APA that would be having, barroom brawls. Another character that I would love to see as a persona card, and I think that if you've been playing WWE 2K, last year they did the Wolf Pack NWO pack, and we got the red and black versions of Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Hogan, Kurt Kurt Hennig and Lex Luger. And that was cool, but it was like, this is not very different from what we already have. However, I would love to see a new generation version of Lex Luger. I'm talking, give me the Lex Express version, the real American Lex Luger, you know, with the armbands and the Americana tights. And I would even take it a step further. Give us a version of the British Bulldog that has like those tights and the same thing, and we can make the Allied powers from, you know what I'm saying, like the new generation era. I think it would be really cool to have a version of Lex Luger, because the current version we have is definitely WCW Lex Luger. I want to see a WWF version of Lex Luger, because I think that would be a really, really cool thing to see. And I think it would really just kind of flesh out a new generation era, because we've got Yokozuna. We've got a lot of those guys in there already. Another Persona card that I think would really be awesome, and I don't know why they haven't done this yet. Why don't we get X-Pac as the 1-2-3 Kid? I think that as a persona would be amazing, because obviously we've got Razor, obviously we've got Brett. I mean, that was Sean Waltman's coming out party, you know, that's when he really broke through. And I think to give us a younger version of Sean Waltman would be so fantastic in this game. I think he would become one of my favorite characters, you know, because when I think about Sean Waltman as the 1-2-3 Kid, like, he was so agile, and at the time, like, his style was like high flying, and that wasn't the norm. You know what I'm saying? He was doing, you know, springboards and moonsaults and things like that. So I would really love to see Sean Waltman, because, you know, I gotta give him credit where credit is due. For his size at the time, it was very, like, he was so much smaller, so the presentation was different. But I also just kind of think his style in wrestling was also really unique for that era, and I would love to see a 1-2-3 version of Sean Waltman come as a Persona card. One of the other personas that I would love to see, and I don't know if they're gonna do it, but I'm like, how do y'all give us the Doctor of Thugonomics in this farewell tour, but not give us the next big thing, 03 Brock Lesnar? I want that Here Comes the Pain Brock Lesnar. I want that young Lesnar with the crew cut that was just running through everybody, that put, you know, took the title off of The Rock, put Hogan out of commission. Like, I desperately would love to see an actual persona for 03 Brock Lesnar. And I think that there's a lot of other characters that I've also considered that why don't we have them as personas, or even if not personas, why aren't there attires in the game? And I think this is more of a notable section that I would love to see in terms of personas. Maybe not a must-have, but I would love to see them if they did, or even if they just added their attires. Why don't we get Mankind? I'm talking Psycho Mankind that wore the brown outfit, the one that used to pull his hair out. Like, I know we all love Mankind with Socko, but I really would love like psychotic, deranged Mankind that feuded with Shawn Michaels. I think that would be another great addition for just kind of like that new generation going into the Attitude Era. I think that would be an awesome addition. I also think like what we absolutely need, and I mean positively for a lot of different reasons, I think two Persona cards that I would love to see are WCW specific, and I'm like, why don't we get a WCW version of Booker T and Rey Mysterio? I feel like the Harlem Heat attire is already in the game, but it's not the same. Like, I need Booker T with the flat top and the Band-Aid on his nose. Like, that's the Booker T that I want to see, because I think about the feuds he had. You know, he had that great Best of Series with Benoit, you know, and again, I know Benoit is very divisive and controversial in what happened to him and his family. But like, it's not even about him. I think about Book and how that was Booker's true ascension into a solo career. And he was so entertaining at that point in time that I would love to see like that era version of Booker T come to the game as a persona. Another character, like I said, I really want to see Rey Mysterio. I want to see young Rey Mysterio. And the reason why I'm so livid is that like Ray bulked up when he came to WWE in the early 2000s. I want the more leaner, younger Ray. And the thing is, they have all his attires. They've got Ray from when he started in WWE. They've got Ray attires from when he was in WCW. The problem is we can't change his freaking mask. Like, the fact that we're stuck with the same mask. So like, my hope is that we could get a persona of a young Rey Mysterio. And honestly, I think if they did content drops like this, if 2K was thoughtful and said who is already in the game that we can give different persona cards to, because they've been in the industry and they're iconic in their own right, and they've contributed to the wrestling canon for as long as they have. Let's give them different personas. I would love to see that, because not only would it help like give the game a little bit more life before the new game comes out without butchering the excitement for 2K26, but I think it would just kind of extend the lifespan of either MyFaction, Universe mode, and for folks who might not just be immediately upgrading. But those are my kind of thoughts. And I would love to know what you think. I mean, because when we look at the roster as it is, like, if you have every version of John Cena and you bought the Farewell Tour, I think there's like 9 versions of John Cena. You got like 6 versions of Roman Reigns. I think it really wouldn't hurt to give us an extra version of Booker T, an extra version of Bradshaw as Bradshaw. I think it would be dope to get like I said, Lex Luger as either the Narcissist or the Lex Express. But again, y'all, thank y'all for rocking out with me as you always do. Please let me know what you think about this in the comment section. I would love to hear your feedback and thoughts. Please subscribe to the channel. This is a growing channel. I am trying to be more consistent in putting out content. I see that you guys respond very positively to the WWE 2K25 content. But let me know what y'all think, y'all. As always, this is your boy Shake. Peace.